The first time I saw the queen without her armor, she was smaller than the statues. In the hall of banners, she stood beneath a ceiling painted with ancient victories. Sunlight fell through tall windows and caught in her silver hair. She wore a simple linen shift, no crown, no blade, just a woman with scars across her shoulders and a bruise darkening along her ribs. I was not meant to be there. My name is Daniel Reyes Jr., logistics tech, attached to the Terran Expeditionary Fleet. We had answered a distress call from the Avansari system and found a kingdom, fighting a losing war against something that did not bleed. The enemy called themselves the Varkish, machines grown from crystal and dark matter. They did not shout. They did not boast. They advanced. The Avansari had courage. They had elegance. They did not have railguns, so we stayed. The queen's armor stood on a frame in the center of the hall. It was a relic and a weapon. Plates of white alloy curved like the petals of a steel flower. Veins of blue light ran through it. The helmet bore a crest shaped like wings. I had been sent to recalibrate the power couplings. The Avansari engineers were brilliant, but their systems were centuries behind ours. The armor had once drawn energy from planetary grids that no longer existed. I expected guards. I expected ceremony. Instead, I found her alone, trying to lift the breastplate. She glanced at me. Her eyes were gold. Not metaphor, truly gold. They narrowed. "You were Terran," she said. Her voice was steady, but there was strain beneath it. "Yes, Your Majesty." She tried again to lift the breastplate. Her arms trembled. I set my toolkit down. "With respect, that coupling will drain your shoulder if you lift it wrong." She studied me as if weighing whether I was worth the air I'd used. "Then lift it correctly," she said. That was how I helped the queen put on her armor. Up close, the plates were heavier than they looked. Dense, purpose, built to turn aside energy, lances, and kinetic slugs. I guided the breastplate into place while she held still. The metal was cold against her skin. "Breathe in," I said, without thinking. She did. The armor sealed with a low hum. Blue lines flared to life. "You speak to me as one would to a comrade," she said. "Sorry, Your Majesty. Do not apologize. It is different." I moved behind her to secure the backplates. Scars crossed her spine in pale ridges. "You have fought often," I said. "I have ruled often," she replied. "The two are not separate." Fair point. When I knelt to attach the greaves, I noticed her hands were shaking. "You are injured," I said. "I am aware. Have you seen a medic?" "We have few left." I tightened the last coupling and stood. The armor completed its seal. The Queen of Avansar rose taller, transformed into the figure carved in marble. Across her world, yet the tremor in her hands did not stop. She looked at them with quiet fury. "I cannot allow them to see this," she said. Softly outside the hall, horns began to sound. The Varkesh had reached the inner shield perimeter. "Your Majesty," I said carefully, "on Earth we have a saying. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is action in spite of it." She turned to me. "I do not fear death," she said. "I fear failing them." Something in her voice made the vast hall feel small. I reached out before I could reconsider and took her gauntlet hand. The armor was warm now. Power coursed through it. Beneath the alloy, her fingers were rigid. "You called for help," I said. "That was not failure. That was leadership. Her golden eyes searched my face as if looking for mockery. She found none. You are young, she said. 23. Barely forged. Still functional. A faint curve touched her mouth. The horns outside grew louder. The floor trembled as distant impacts struck the shield. She should have pulled. Away. She did not. Instead, her grip tightened. Walk with me, she said. We crossed the hall of banners together. Armored boots rang against stone. Servants and soldiers stepped aside and bowed. Their queen walked toward. War. She did not release my hand. At the great doors, she paused. If I fall, she said quietly, you will ensure my people reach your ships. I will, I said. It was not a promise I had authority to make. It was a promise I made anyway. The doors opened. The sky above the capital burned violet where the shield flared. Beyond its shapes moved. Jagged constructs descending like shards of a broken star. Avansari knights mounted sleek. Creatures that looked like wingless dragons. Terran marines formed lines with rifles humming. The queen stepped forward and raised her blade. It unfolded from her gauntlet in a stream of blue fire. A cheer rose. Raw and fierce. Her hand was still in mine. Your Majesty, I said gently. She looked down as if surprised to find me there. Return to your post. Daniel Reyes, she said, you have to let go. First, for a heartbeat she did not move. Then she shook her head, not yet. The first Varkesh construct breached the shield and crashed into the outer courtyard. It unfolded into a towering shape of crystal limbs and worry cores. Terran railguns fired. Avansari lances answered. The air filled with light. The queen pulled me with her as she advanced. Your Majesty, I protested. You will remain at my side until I no longer require your steadiness, she said. That was how I found myself running beside an alien monarch into open war. The Varkesh machine lunged. She met it head-on. Her blade carved through a limb in a spray of molten fragments. The impact jarred through her armor and into my arm. She staggered. I tightened my grip. Steady, I said. She exhaled and drove the blade through the core. The construct collapsed in a cascade of dark shards around us. Battle raged. Marines fell. Knights screamed. The shield flickered. Another construct descended, larger, bristling with cannons. The queen faced it. Her hand crushed mine. Not painfully, desperately. For Avansar, she whispered. For Avansar, I echoed. We charged. I am not a hero. I do not carry a blade of living light. But I had a sidearm and a stubborn streak common to my species. The construct fired. The blast struck her chest plate and threw us both to the ground. My ears rang. She tried to rise. The tremor was back. Worse. The construct advanced. Cannons powering. I rolled to my knees and fired into the damaged seam she had carved earlier. Terran rounds punched deep. The core flared unstable. Now. I shouted. She surged up with a cry that split the air and hurled. Her blade like a spear, it pierced the core. The explosion knocked us flat. When the light faded, the construct was gone. Silence. Spread outward in ripples. The remaining Varkesh units retreated beyond the shield. The horns changed tone. Victory, I lay on my back, staring at a sky clearing from violet to blue. Her armored hands still held mine. Slowly she pushed herself up and then pulled me with her. The courtyard was wrecked. Smoke rose from shattered stone. But her people were cheering. They were looking at her. She looked at them. Then she looked at me. You did not release me, she said. You asked me not to. She considered that. I believe, she said slowly, that I required reminding that I am not alone. You're not, I said. You have a fleet in orbit full of stubborn humans. And you, she said. The armor around her face retracted. I saw the woman again. Tired. Scarred. Alive. She loosened her grip at last, but did not fully let go, Daniel Reyes of Terra. She declared, voice carrying across the courtyard. You stood with your queen. Every Avansari dropped to one knee. I blinked. I just helped you with the armor, I muttered. Her eyes warmed. Sometimes, she said, that is where battles are won. Long after the medics came and the fires were contained, she still held my hand as we walked back through the hall of banners. This time the statues did not seem larger than life. They seemed like history, and beside me walked the future. She did not let go, asterisk.